Hello, everyone. It's good to be here in front of you. I wasn't expecting this until I think last week, a few days ago. So, trying to brush up on my presentation skills. It's been a while. So, again, my name is Lorelei Cloud. I am a current council member, and this is my third term. And as with the chairman Manuel Hart, I also served as the chairman of the 10 Tribes Partnership a few years ago. My reservation was established in 1868, so that's a very important year as well too, as we look through the different water rights and with the different tribes. My reservation encompasses about 1,100 square miles, and it's within a 15-mile wide and a 75-mile long strip of land. Within our reservation, we have what is called the checkerboard land status. So there's different land areas within the reservation that are tribal land versus private land and other land status. So within the tribal land, we have about 499 square miles, again, that is just tribal land, and about 472 square miles that is private land. So my tribe has about 129,000 acre feet of year of federal reserved water rights within the Colorado River basin, and it's comprised mostly of surface water rights. And that's because we have 7 rivers that cross through our reservation. These surface water rights are directly impacted by the drought that we are all experiencing in this area because we rely heavily on the snowpack and the runoff. My tribe does not receive water directly from the Colorado River. We receive water from the tributaries. We can divert water up to 128,937 acre feet a year, but we can only deplete 70,000, 49,000 acre feet a year. And our current annual water use, our diversion is at 40,621 acre feet, and the depletion is at 22,724 acre feet a year. So my tribe also has water storage within 3 reservoirs. And currently, we all know about Lake Nighthorse and the Animas La Plata project. Myself, our tribe, and Ute Mountain both have water rights within this area. Ironically, this storage is on our driest side of our reservation, and we do not have access to this water. And also, we also have water within the Vicedo Reservoir, and we all know that Vicedo and Lake Lemon are also impacted by the drought because of the reduced snowpack and the runoff. My tribe is lucky to have our own water treatment plant, but within that, we have less than 500 households that receive potable water through our water treatment plant. And many of these homes are non-tribal homes that receive the water, and it's due to the checkerboard nature of our reservation. The water treatment plant diversions hold junior water rights within the Pine River, making it vulnerable to the reduced flows from the Pine River and possible calls on the river from the senior water right holders. Along with our water treatment plant, we now have a new raw water reservoir that was completed a couple years ago. The water treatment plant previously to the new storage, we had water storage for 1 day. And so with, I think the new water storage was completed about 2 years ago. So currently we have the capacity to store water up to 30 days of water, which is really important because, again, on the Pine River, we have junior water rights. And also, when we considered the installation of additional infrastructure to increase the capacity of the current water treatment plant, it became very hard to kind of get that done because we have the checkerboard land status, which means that any new pipe that comes through that we need to increase the capacity has to go through the approval from the tribe, other non-tribal landowners, the irrigation district, the county, and it goes on and on from the different right-of-ways within that area. So it becomes very complex. And also with our owning and operating our water treatment plant, many of our tribal residents still have to haul water. And it's because of their area that they live in and because we don't have the capacity from the water treatment plant to their homes within the reservation boundaries. And many of our tribal homes, the tribal families, they can either haul water through our water utilities department, which has a very high price because of the delivery of the water, or they come in and they haul water themselves. And growing up on our reservation, I grew up in a house without running water. So this was a normal part of life, and it's also a normal part of life for a lot of the tribal members that still are living within the reservation boundaries. When I don't, Leonard Birch, our former chairman for many years, was my uncle, and he would come and pick us up every Sunday, and we would get our water jugs and go to his house and fill these water jugs from the garden hose at his house. And so we knew that water was very precious and with every drop that we had. And so that was our water source for the week. And if we ran out, my grandmother used she boiled the water from the irrigation ditch, and that was our water for the week until we got a new, until we refilled our water from the water jugs. I actually like this slide about the land ownership within the reservation. I know it's very busy, but it's very an impactful statement because it shows the different colors of the different land statuses within this small strip of land. And so again, this checkerboard nature can cause many different hardships when we're trying to deliver water either through the ditches or through the potable water. And it also has different impacts throughout with different situations like law enforcement and whatnot. So it can get complex very quick. So my tribe does not rely on groundwater to meet our water needs. There are a large number of wells within the reservation boundaries, and the majority of them are non-tribal wells. So within, again, within this small strip of land, the tribal wells are about 922 wells. 181 are tribal potable wells, and 741 are oil and gas wells. And those that are non-tribal, we have non-tribal domestic wells that are 3,300 number of wells, and about 800 of non-tribal industrial wells within this small strip of land. And again, we do have water quality concerns, but this has been problematic for quite a number of years because of the lowering of the groundwater and the reduced snowfall. Again, we are all impacted when we don't have enough snow. And while Colorado overall has snowpack that's kind of close to normal, we know that Vicedo Lake, where most of my tribe has our main water supply, is about 36% full. With the recent storms that we've received last week and even last night, we know that this snowfall is still not adequate enough or close to normal because the soil is so dry that the snowmelt is just absorbed into the soil and it doesn't allow for a runoff. This is a forecast of Vicedo. I don't know if any of you have seen this, but the average outlook for the delivery for the our irrigation water and our potable water is still below average. And so we already know that the water commissioner in the previous years has reduced the supply of 85%. So that is going to impact our irrigators and our potable water within our area on the reservation. And a positive note, in 2018, my tribe took a proactive step and we developed our own drought management plan, which was approved by our tribal council in 2019, which is still a relatively new document. But with this new drought plan, it's based upon different triggers and indicators, which is tied to the water levels and the water supply. For an example, we all know that Vicedo most likely is going to fall below 125,000 acre feet. That will have a trigger, and the results from that trigger will have the responses that will inform the irrigators that there will be a possible shortage. And as triggers become more severe, so will the responses. And also within our plan that we have additional implementation measures, and my tribe has already implemented these triggers in the Vicedo area for the past 2 irrigation seasons. And you all have seen these different headlines. And so the question is, what are we going to do? So with tribes ourselves, we have been working directly with the Bureau of Reclamation and on the Drought Response Operation Agreement, or DROA, which is the guidelines for releasing water within the Colorado River storage reservoirs, which most of these are in the state of Colorado. After the initial release of water through the DROA, tribes now have the ability to participate in the development of the language that will help guide the DROA process in the future. Previously, we were not included in that language. And also, as some of you may be aware, that a few tribes in the upper and lower basin met with the Secretary of Interior, Ms. Deb Haaland, this last Monday, just a few days ago. And this was a historic meeting because this is the first time the Secretary has ever met with the tribes in this type of capacity. And the purpose of this meeting was to ensure that tribes, that there is tribal inclusion in the development of the 2026 Colorado River new management framework. That's very, very important as we go forward. And the upper and lower basin states, particularly the tribes within both of these basins, particularly within these basins, the tribes are working together. The tribes in the upper basin are working together. The tribes in the upper basin and the lower basin are also working together to prevent any type of finger pointing that has been going on within the basins that have been occurring between the upper and lower basins. We want to mitigate that because we all need to work together to come up with different solutions that are beneficial to the most and have the least harm to any of the water users in the basin. So with the looming shortages and the coordination of the new Colorado River management now in process, now is the time to determine the best use for the tribes and their unused water supply. My tribal council has approved the development of and operation of a new water use operations team. And this is basically because the tribe desires to put our federal reserved water rights to use on and off our reservation that is beneficial to the tribe. And we also are, in this, we are also concerned about what is best for the state of Colorado and the other Colorado River Basin users as a whole. And under the current 07 guidelines, the unused tribal water flow into Lake Powell offers no incentives to the tribes. And that it could be beneficial to the state of Colorado in the drought management program, but the tribes need to be included in some kind of incentive. The WAT will be, which is the Water Use Options Team, will be tasked with developing the water use proposals and bring that to us, Tribal Council, for us to approve and to implement. I just want to leave you with some final thoughts before Chairman Hart comes up here. It's been 100 years ago, tribes were completely left out and dismissed during the development of the 1922 Colorado River Compact. As tribes have gained recognition and the respect that we deserve as sovereigns, and with the rights up to almost 25% of the allocation of the Colorado River supply, our participation in the next management framework can only improve and strengthen the relationship between the water right holders in the basin as we deal with the future of the reduced water supply within the Colorado River Basin. With that, I thank you.